So here's just a few seconds of my vinyl cutter at work. This is first set of cornhole boards using the vinyl. I think third project overall. So I'm still getting used to everything. From all the building I do throughout the year, I save all my containers. I found them more helpful holding up my cornhole boards than anything. I think Rockler has those pucks and stuff. I've got a couple of those also. Here I am I've sanded down. I think 2 days prior to this I had these sanded, and I went over them with a cloth, and then this is a tack cloth here. Just trying to remove all the debris. Make sure to get good adhesion with the paint and the vinyl. So here are my two vinyl decals. This is a two-color process. So there's going to be one with the color that's underneath, and then this one here that I'm pulling out on top is the second color, which is going to be a silver outline. So right now, the way I figured my design, I like all my cornhole boards with borders. I think they look good, and using the tape is just easy. So here I am just going around the board. This is going to be my blue border. So this tape's going to come off eventually. But the idea is to lay this down, and then I'm going to take my vinyl decal, and I'm going to line it up right next to the edge, because the border and this decal is all going to be blue, as well as the lettering, which I'll be putting on here shortly. So this is the largest vinyl decal that I've used, and it's got its own challenges, but just taking your time is the key. There's a lot of static to this. When you get the backing off, there's a lot of static, so it really wants to clean. It wasn't real challenging, but you definitely want to pay attention because it's a little late in the game for the vinyl to stick to itself. So here I notice my decal, the paws of the lion are going to extend out over into the border. It gives it kind of a 3D effect is what I'm going for. But the paws kind of are in the way of the border's in the way. So that's why I peeled it out. And then here I am just trying to line it up with the bottom and the left side. And once it is, I'm just going to squeegee it out. So I bought some transfer tape that's on a 24-inch wide roll, and at the top of this here you can see I've got a 6-inch strip. This when I put the transfer tape onto this vinyl decal, I was struggling to get that large of transfer tape on it in one piece. So I have a small roll, and I think in the future I may put smaller pieces of transfer tape on so I can remove it a little at a time. Here this piece is roughly 20 inches or so wide, and with the tack that's on there, it's not hard to pull, but it's more difficult than it really needs to be. Notice I got a wrinkle there in the vinyl. I'm not worried about it. It's just a stencil. It's all coming off. And then there I'm putting the tape back on. Now again, that's all going to come off. But here I'm trying to get my Lions logo centered. So I've got my straight edge there. You'll see me measure out here in a second. And instead of making marks and drawing lines and doing stuff that would have been okay also, um, I just taped my straight edge down and it was good to go. You'll see me tape it down here before I get started. I knew I'd bump it. As I get used to the Illustrator program and Vinyl Cutter, I'll start cutting these decals to fit the space a little better. I kept having to trim off a little bit, which wasn't the end of the world, but still it was a little more work than I thought it needed to be. These boards have been in the making for 6 months, probably. I purchased the vinyl cutter because I was hand cutting all my stencils. So what would take me, 4 hours to do now takes about 4 minutes or so on the vinyl cutter. So in the long run, a lot of save time. Alright, so here what I'm doing is everything, the lettering is going to be blue, the lion's going to be blue, and the border is going to be blue. So right now I'm just taping everything off, and then before I start painting, you'll see me remove the border. There we go. There, the bottom of the decal is hanging over onto the tape, so I just cut it. And I like to, I usually don't paint over the sides. Just, I like the edge of the wood showing. And there I gave you a glimpse of what I was using. The only thing Lowe's had that was really close to the color I was looking for was this. They got it labeled as high performance enamel. I've never used it. Hopefully it doesn't cause problems before the end of this, but so I was just dusting the first layer. I don't put it on thick at all. I just want it to adhere to the wood. And once that's not completely dry, but dry to the touch, I go ahead and put on my second layer. Now this paint did cover really well, so I pretty much in 2 coats got it thicker than some of the previous paint that I've used, which is good. And here I'm just pulling it up. The top of the lion is still wet. I had to touch up one spot. And here's the second registration, second color. So again, this is the first time. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, and I just kind of went with it. Again, I just had to watch out for the static. As soon as you peel that backing off, it kind of wants to cling to everything. So my second layer, it's made to have an overlap between the first and second layer, and you'll see it here. And that's just because I didn't want any, voids. So all the way around, it's not 1/8 of an inch. It's probably like a 1/16 of an inch or so. I wasn't sure how hard it was going to be to line everything up, so I just wanted to make sure. So here I am, I'm sticking the second layer. Peel it up. And here I am just taping everything off. Make sure I don't get any silver on anything that isn't supposed to get painted silver. And you'll notice off camera I cut the hole out. I wanted a little border around the hole, so I did that. I didn't have any problems with the tape peeling up any of the paint, which is good. I have had that happen in the past. I'm making this video while the paint's drying. I'm going to try and get everything painted today so I can poly tomorrow. And with the silver, same thing. Just put it on light. There's a lot of problems come with laying paint down too thick or too soon. There, I noticed there was a spot on my vinyl decal that I hadn't pushed down, so rather than get the overspray or underspray, I just used a piece of tape and pushed it down. So here I am putting, this is a second layer on, and the silver builds really, really fast, so 2 layers. There might have been 3 layers on part of that, but it went on fairly easy. And I've got this video sped up. I think it's at 400%. So, every minute you watch is 4 or 5 minutes. So what I'm doing here is while the silver is drying, I started peeling off other parts, and you get a glimpse here what it looks like. So far I'm really pleased with the way this is coming out. And as we start peeling this other stencil here, you see this really come to life. So I just peeled all the vinyl. I'm gonna touch that up. That was a spot that I didn't have taped up, but other than that, I mean, you can see when I had this done on Illustrator, I made the silver outline big enough to overlap, because I'd rather have the overlap than to have a like a dead space. But you can see the line where it went over the blue. It covered well. It's just there's more paint there, so it's thicker. But I'm okay with that. I left the eye blank. Now, now that I'm looking at it, probably gonna paint that silver. I thought it would look good with the wood showing through, but I think it'd look better with the silver. I've got a little bit of bleed through, which I'm disappointed in. This is the Baltic birch. I usually get a better finish on the maple that I'm used to using. But lessons learned. That just means I need to seal it a little bit better, because it's bleeding through into the grains. So I need to just seal it better. But I'm okay with that. I'm the only person that's going to notice it. But one board down.